Canon from Canon Digital. I had a tutorial I wanted to do today just about the basics of layers in Photoshop. So I've got an image here that I'll bring in first. I've got it sitting on the desktop. There it is. So this is a photo taken in Christchurch, New Zealand at Brighton Beach. This is one of the darkest shots of an HDR series, which is one of 3 different exposures. So at the moment it's a RAW file, and I've brought it into Adobe Camera Raw, which is what Adobe opens your RAW files into before it takes them into Photoshop. So you have some adjustments in the adjustment panel here, quite a few adjustments that you can actually do. One of the common ones would be to lift the shadows in a darker photo. If I lift the shadow highlighter there, you'll see that the information in the shadowed areas, down on the beach here, starts to lighten up. I can probably bring the exposure up a bit, and this will bring some more information into it. I can also enrich the saturation a wee bit, because there's a bit of colour in the sky really, that's what we're wanting to get. Normally I shoot quite flat on camera because it gives you more a bigger ability to make changes in post-production. So my photos can look a wee bit flat straight out of camera. So normally I'll put clarity up a wee bit just to give it a little, it's like a little sharpening tweak. Pretty much on all photos that I do bring in, I'll do that wee bit of sharpening, lift the shadows, look at the contrast. It can probably take a bit of contrast, which will just enrich the sky a wee bit and make it a wee bit more punchy. We can probably even go a wee bit lighter in the exposure. Not too much, but just a wee bit. It'll just bring up a bit of information on the beach. So we've got the shadows right up there. You can bring your highlights down, but in this case it'll probably add a bit of colour in. Yeah, it's not too bad where it is. I think I'm quite happy with that. So now open the image. So that is now taking it into Photoshop. So I'm going to come in there for a minute. Okay, so there's the image in Photoshop. On the Mac, Command 0 gets you to full screen, so it puts the photo up to full screen. So one of the first things I'll look at is my horizon. Now I've got the crop tool here. I've got a preset cropping size up here, which is approximately size that I put up on Facebook and so forth. So it's 3000 pixels wide, 2000 pixels high, and 300 dots per inch. So it's about a 7 by 10 or thereabouts photo. So if I just open the crop up there now, I'm using a trackpad, so I'm holding the left part of the trackpad there down so that it keeps the format, although with the format set in the crop tool up there, your format should be good anyway. Now you notice, if you look at the arrow down on the right hand corner, when I go outside the square, it becomes a curved arrow. Now if I'm on a mouse, I hold my left key down and it gives this grid, and now I can look at my horizon and see that it's not quite straight, so I can just swing it with the mouse key still click down. I can just curve the whole image until I get that horizon straight. So the line's straight along the bridge or jetty there now, so that's straightened it up. You can see the dark edge of where the photo was. You can, down in the corner here, you can see that it's curved, moved it a wee bit. So now if I crop, it'll just bring that back to a straight horizon. So we've got our horizon straight now. I can see that there's a wee bit too much yellow in here. So we'll make changes to that. So one of the things I want to do is layers. So we've got over here on the right hand side the adjustment layers. Now adjustment layers are non-destructive. They leave the base image untouched, and it's just the layer on top that changes. So if I was looking to say do color balance, which will be channel mixer, you can see here you've got brightness and contrast levels, curves, exposure, vibrance, hue and saturation, color balance. So if I click color balance, that brings up a color balance layer. So now I'm seeing a wee bit of yellow over here. I mean, there's a bit of yellow in the sky anyway, but I really want the red to pop a bit more because it was a bit pinker than this. So if I take the yellow slider there and just pull it back a wee bit, it just takes a wee bit of the over powerful yellow out of the sky. I can probably add a wee bit of red in there too, just to bring that rich colour back into the sky. So it's just very subtle movements. You're not going too far. If I go too far, that's the effect I'm going to get. I'm going to lose the actual colour that was in the sky. So let me go back to 0 and just move it a wee bit towards probably just 6 or 7, maybe even 5 or 6 points. So around about there. So it's just taking a wee bit of that yellow out of the blue in the sky here. So it's allowed the blue in the sky to come through. Probably won't touch the green and magenta because we haven't really got green and magenta. There's a wee bit of magenta in there, but you've got to be really careful with green and magenta. You can really go to, like we can just make really crazy adjustments, so we don't want that. So we go back close to 0, probably taking 2 towards green. That is good. Okay, so that's given us the colour balance. So that's on the colour balance layer now. If we go to layers down here, we'll see that it's put a colour balance layer in. So that's all good now. So another one we might do is a levels layer. So this will just look at the brightness, so we can adjust the brightness in the shadowed areas and the highlights and the mid-tones. So let's just bring those mid-tones up a wee bit. Yeah, that's better. So it's getting a bit more detail there, getting a bit light on the beach. Again, we don't want to go too far because we can blow it out. We don't want that. We want to keep the richness in there. So that's quite good probably. Now this would lift the shadowed areas if you want more shadow, more information in the shadows. So we could go a bit lighter there, but I'd probably keep it reasonably dark. I shot it reasonably dark, and having it dark gets the contrast and richness of saturation in there. Okay, so that's probably pretty close to what I want. We've got brightness and contrast. We'll just add a brightness and contrast layer. You can see these layers are all adding up in here. And I might just increase the contrast a wee bit more here. That makes it a wee bit more punchy again. So I'm pretty happy at that. Yeah, that's a reasonable sort of reasonably close to where I wanted it to be. So that's just using adjustment layers to make your adjustments. Now, one of the things with adjustment layers too is that if you only want it to affect a certain part of the image, then just look at that part of the image when you're doing this. So let's take that back. So let's say we're looking at the sky, and I'm just wanting that to be a bit more punchy. If I don't want that effect to be on the beach, I can go to the paintbrush here, just the brush tool at the top there, and with the black and white selected here, where you can see that circle, inside that circle, these black and white. When we've got it on black on front, we can actually wipe that effect away from wherever we want, and this has graduated this circle, so that's taking the effect off with the contrast I just did. And then if I wanted to put it on, I change that to white, and that'll take it back to what I've done. So you can just affect one part of the photo if you want to. So I'll just go back to black, and I may just take that effect across there because it lightens it a bit. And you can see the circle's graduated, so it isn't definite. Up here we're on a soft brush, so we want to have a soft brush. And then I've also got the amount of the opacity on 48%. We can even go a bit lower than that because it just makes it more subtle. And the flow probably even a wee bit down to 60%, say. So you can adjust these things to get either more impact or less impact. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I'd be at this point going File, Save As. I'll always leave the numbers there, and I'll just put Brighton Beach, Christchurch. And I've got a code of NP that I use, which tells me that the size is 3000 by 2000 pixels. Save it as a JPEG. I'll just save it to desktop at the moment, and just go save there. And always pick baseline optimized as your selection. And I normally go about 600 or 700 kilobytes in size for posting to Facebook. Yeah, say 500 is right there. Let me go save. And so that's doing layer adjustment, using adjustment layers to make adjustments in Photoshop. Right, thanks for watching.